What is going on, guys? The Across the Cowboys podcast is back. I'm your host, Paul Ryan, and with me, as always, is Mike the Pig Crum and Brenden Fergy Smith. Mike, how are you?
Doing good, my friend. How about yourself?
Doing well, sir. Brenden, how about you?
Doing great.
Brenden, where can we find you on Twitter, sir?
You can find me at Brenden_Smith26.
Mike, how about you?
At CD Piglet, guys. Nice and easy.
I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. Well, the Cowboys have wrapped up week 1 of OTAs and are currently in phase 3 of the offseason program. As the days pass, we get closer and closer to week 1 of the 2025 season. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Mike, in your opinion, what is the real benefit of OTAs?
Making sure all your players know the game plans. Happy Memorial Day, Daniel. That's basically it. Getting your players acclimated to the game plans, the changes, calls you might change. You know, you have a new DC, you have a new OC, you have a new play caller. So it's getting all that stuff in order.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brenden, anything to add to that?
No, okay. It's legit. It's just a learning process. It's voluntary. Like, you don't have to show up right now, but you do it because you want to get around your new teammates, new coaches, and you get the new feel for the entire team.
You love to see the players that have showed up to the Cowboys OTAs for sure. Which player has surprised you when you heard their name mentioned, good or bad for you, Brenden?
It's Brevin Ford. Last year when he made the roster, I'm like, whatever. I'm like, I know he's a huge dude. Like, he's 6'7", 250, I think, or 270. So, but it's like, okay, cool. He's mainly here for blocking. Like, he's not going to do much. But now everyone talks like he's walling people off, getting downfield, and making plays. And you go, oh, is Schoonmaker's position protected at tight end too because of him being a second-round pick? Or can Brevin Ford in training camp win it out? And so it's going to be him and Ferg in the 1 and 2 option.
I know Foots the King, shout out to him. He did a video on stating why he thinks Brevin Ford might be the best tight end for the system here in Dallas. I haven't had a chance to watch that, but I'm curious to hear his breakdown. What are your thoughts on that, Mike? And who's your player?
I haven't watched yet. I keep up on everything Foots does, so I'm sure it's in my queue. Yeah. As far as the OTAs go, my guy from Fresno State, when they were like, oh, yeah, Jalen Cropper's out here making plays, I was like, Jalen Cropper's still on the roster?
For real.
I felt bad because
Holland, it sounds like, too, dude.
That's him every year. That's him every year, though. We always hear when the pads are on, he make plays.
Yeah, he's not making this team. The wide receivers now with Pickens are set up, basically. You know who's battling, But it just shocked me. I was like, oh, my Fresno State guy is on the roster. I forgot about that. So that was funny to hear his name.
Yeah, that's a good one. I kind of went a little bit chalky here, and I'm going with our guy, Dak Prescott. I wasn't sure how long it would take for him to return to full health, but the fact that he's already there looking slimmer and mobile was a pleasant surprise for me. I love to hear that he's looking fully healthy. And, I mean, just a couple weeks ago, I know Dak always saying the right things, but he's mentioning that he could play a game if need be. I was shocked.
He attacks rehabs. He's
everything, honestly.
Yeah, he's incredible with that. They have to more slow him down.
Right. Love to see that from your leader, man. Your $1 million man, if you will. Does it mean anything to you guys that Booker was immediately running with the ones and OTAs, Brenden?
I mean, it's going to happen. So he's week 1. He's your right guard. That's legit. What's going to happen. But in years past, Dallas likes to earn the star and all that, which is I feel like it's kind of stupid. He is by far the best guard you have there. At right guard, of course, Tyler Smith is the best you have. But it's obvious. Guess what? You want him to get all the reps he can. Do it. Throw him out there. It's OTAs. It doesn't really matter. The biggest thing for him is that everyone shows that he's huge.
Yeah. It
was is he in pads? No. Tyler Booker's just a huge dude.
But just for conversation's sake, I think Tyler Guyton last year, he was running with the 2s in OTAs, wasn't he not? Or was that training camp?
No, he was running with the 2s, but like I said, it's because with Mike McCarthy, it's all about earning the star.
Yeah.
And all that, even though you had no one at left tackle at that point, so Tyler Guyton, was going to start.
And there's some people out there that still wish that Mr. Richards was still on this team, maybe giving Guyton some run for his money. But Mike, what about you? Do you give anything to the Booker running with the ones right off the bat?
Just that they're better coaching.
Yeah.
I mean, the coaches are better. That's a smarter plan. You have a top guy, put him out there. There's no reason he's not going to get prepared to block Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis by blocking your third string guys. It's not going to happen. He's got to block Osa, and honestly, Osa and Mozzie and Solomon Thomas and them may not help him block Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. So at least give them the best guys you got.
Absolutely, yeah. Iron sharpens iron, as they say. Do OTAs help the coaching staff and front office see what they have, or is it more about seeing what they need, Mike?
I think the idea is it's a mix, but a big part of it is okay, what am I worried about? What do I come out of this guy's not picking things up here. We better get a veteran, cornerback. You've seen Elam, you heard Elam had a nice, first day and everything, and you're like, okay, let's see what we got there. You're not in panic mode about it. But then if you start to hear, Jay Toia he's not picking things up great, you might be like, you know what, we better bring on a veteran, DT. Yeah. So it is kind of about figuring out where you need to fill in guys, where you might need to add some things.
Yeah, talking about Jay Toia, sounded like Brian Broaddus was singing his praises, maybe giving even Mozzie Smith a run for his starting job. Did you hear that?
Yes, I have heard that's not going to be a thing early, but that could be a thing later on.
Yeah, we got a
bad year before he got hurt last year. That's
definitely can't disagree with that. I always love the new listeners and their different perspectives, but yeah, I would agree. Dak, it was weird, man. He wasn't even making just the regular plays. He was all out of sync.
The O-line was very, very bad, and it was a very bad offense, and I think that had Dak playing shaky. Whereas the year before, when he had Tyron Smith, and they early on, if you remember when they were under McCarthy's offense, it was shaky, and it was him and Lamb that had to go to him and go, hey, we need to do some of this stuff. Yeah. Let me kind of adjust things. And then he went on and had an MVP caliber season. I think the loss of Tyron and the little step back of Terrence Steele with Solari really had him worried about the offensive line. And that is the biggest thing that I will say as a negative about Dak. If he worries about the O-line, he performs poorly. If you look at his games against the Niners, typically that was the issue. Last year, I believe a lot of it was he was watching those tackles. We had a lot of good edge rushers we were going up against last year, the cream of the crop every week. And I think that worry really had him playing a lot worse than he normally does.
Yeah, Dak wasn't making plays. And then we didn't really have, you mentioned the offensive line, and we didn't really have a running game until probably week 9 of the season. And then in addition to a really bad defense, just an all-around bad team.
No real second weapon either. Well, Jake Ferguson wasn't the same guy. Cooks was injured. Jalen Tolbert's not that guy. So, not this isn't giving slack to Dak. Yeah, but I mean, I've seen Mahomes play bad when things around him are going bad. But he did play bad. That doesn't take away from the fact that you have to acknowledge he was not playing well before the injury. And that's why when I'm doing my NFC East rankings right now, and, I'll get a lot of crap because I'm going to put Jalen Hurts number 1. Yeah. But to me, Dak's battling. My question isn't even that. Jalen Hurts was a Super Bowl winner. He played great last year. The question is, do you do 1 year Jaden Daniels off of 1 year above Dak? Is he second or third? So I still haven't made that decision yet because, but I mean, that's what a bad year can do. You go from the MVP candidate, you're obviously best in the division, to wow, am I going in ranked third in the division this year off a really bad year and another injury? You don't know.
Crazy thing, Dak being the player that he is, but you have 2 legitimate MVP candidates in Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts this year. And hey, you could even say that Dak Prescott could be an MVP candidate depending on how this offensive line performs with the addition of George Pickens.
Hurts roster is too good. He'll never be thought of as an MVP. He won't. He won't
that's
get
fair.
that recognition.
Yeah, that's fair.
He shouldn't either. He's not that level of guy. He's good. Yeah. He's good, but he's not an MVP level. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes, Dak that 1 year, Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. They do a little bit more. It's not more their surroundings.
Josh Allen definitely earned his MVP last year.
He was the best quarterback in football. You take Josh Allen and you eliminate the turnovers, and there's nobody in the. I don't even think Pat Mahomes could be in his tier because Pat Mahomes is a turnover guy, and he doesn't run like Josh Allen. So I mean, Josh was a monster last year. It was crazy.
Indeed, he was. Mike, this is your question on the sheet. I didn't hear the comment, so I'm curious as to you breaking this down. But what are your thoughts on Micah Parsons' comments about the run defense?
My hope is that it was more tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
But what he said, they asked him about what have they done to get better as a run defense, because that's basically been the Cowboys' Achilles heel in the whole Dak era. And Micah said basically was like, well, if we get back to scoring 30 points, we won't have to worry about the run. And that terrifies me. Like, I want you to be like, yeah, this is the thing we have to do. It's been our issue the whole time I've been here. I'm the leader of the team now. I'm going to make it a priority that run defense is the top issue. And just going like, if we're scoring 30, we're good. Like, yeah, but what happens in games where you don't score 30? Like you're not going to be able to rely on that playing the Niners defense. You may not be able to rely on that playing the Eagles with ball control and the way they do. Detroit, like the top teams, if you can't stop their run, if you're just relying on being ahead 2 scores against the best teams in football, good luck on that. That was just a bad answer to me. I want them to come out and go, run stopping is our priority. Yeah. And just, being like, we got to average 30 again. Basically saying like, offense save us. Me no likey.
I wonder, is that possible, Brenden, that maybe Micah was kind of tipping his cap to the offense with the addition of George Pickens and just maybe what he thinks this offense can be this year?
I think that's what because like we've seen what this offense can be with Dak healthy, of course, everything moving smoothly. We've never seen his defense stop the run. So like, honestly, ever. So you got to think of like, let's talk about the things we know. Like fans can go back and look at 2023 like, oh, hey, dude, we're kicking ass. Like, we're scoring. Like they can't run because they have to pass. So let's think about good memories. It was not talking like, oh, shit. Okay, cool. Derrick Henry's running. Oh, James Cook ran for almost 200 yards on your ass for, in 14 carries. So, let's not bring up those memories. Just talk about, how – remember when our team was good? Our team was good because Dak was scoring 30.
How big of a difference would a Brent Urban make for this defensive line, Mike, and this run defense?
I didn't follow him as much as I normally do last year. But I wouldn't be against bringing him in. I wouldn't be against it. We need one big veteran body. It would be nice. I would prefer they trade for like a DeForest Buckner or
of course,
DJ Reader or something. But a veteran big body, just in case Jay Toia isn't ready or Mozzie hasn't took another leap, then I would need a veteran in here.
I remember Urban was like one of the few bright spots in that horrendous 2020 defense.
Yeah, I love Brent Urban. His wife, Kate Urban, too, was amazing.
Yes.
Great Twitter
follow. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Are you more concerned about slot corner or who will play out opposite DaRon Bland on the outside, Brenden?
I feel like the answer could be both because guess what? It'll change throughout the year because once everyone gets healthy, DaRon Bland is most likely in the slot. That's what's most likely going. He's not going to want it because slot corners don't get paid. I think they get paid half, maybe, of what top end guys make. So why would you want to do that? But you got to think. We've heard good things from Kyrie Elam. So I'm gonna have a feeling because Savon Riddle, I don't get a good feeling he's gonna be ready for week 1, and I don't want to push him out week 1 anyway against Philly. You don't need that being your first game out there from injury. So it's going to be outside corner because we'll have Bland can play in the slot, nickel downs week 1. I think he's gonna follow Smith. I feel like that's just what's gonna happen, but it's gonna be slot corner because Izzy, he plays well, but he plays so little. So it's like, cool, this guy makes 2 threes per game. But oh man, how many minutes he's playing? He's playing 8.
Yeah.
Oh, so we have no idea what we have.
Got to say, pretty encouraged to hear good reports from Kyer Elam, and also Wanye Thomas getting some run out of the slot. What about you, Mike? Same question. Are you more concerned about slot corner or the outside?
I'm more concerned about slot early on because I don't really want Deron Bland to move in because I know he doesn't want to. And if we're building culture and stuff, it's easy to like, hey, this and that. But hey, all pro on the outside. Our team didn't do enough to fill this hole, so we're going to move our all pro guy. And then everybody's cool with it. And I'm like, okay, so Tyler Smith to left tackle, right? If Guyton's not good. Well, no, he's an all pro at guard. Yeah. Okay, but we're just good moving our all pro outside pick 6 king into the slot where he doesn't want to be. That I don't, that's how bad your options are at slot. That your best option is to move your best outside corner inside.
Let's say everyone's healthy. Like legit, you're looking at a healthy Diggs, healthy Revel, and you're looking at a healthy Bland. The only guy who has slot experience is Bland. So like whenever everyone's healthy, it should be.
What I'm doing is I'm doing Bland and Diggs outside, and I'm getting someone as a slot corner, whether it's Kalen Carson can do it or Mukwamu, or they go sign somebody or do something there. That way my 2 all-pro outside corners are the same, and I don't have to stick Siobhan Ravel, a 3rd-round pick coming off of an injury, on Devontae Smith in the first week or A.J. Brown or anything. I'd rather him be like, you're our 4th guy, you're rotating in. Against certain matchups, we may have you play outside and move Bland in, maybe even as a 4th spot, or if somebody's moving in, he could follow them. But I would prefer that my 2 all-pro guys, if healthy, are my outside corners. But this is what happens when you have bad GM. You don't build your team well. You're just like, oh, let's see what happens. Kalen Carson wasn't any good after a shoulder injury, but let's just see. We're going to hope he does well. Let's hope Mozzie takes another step. Let's hope a 7th-round rookie could play. The path is there, so it gives people hope. But, man, there's a lot of ifs. And slot corner, outside corner is really not an issue. You have Elam can play out there. Ravel can play out there and do well enough, and hold a spot. You have a number 1 corner in Deron Bland. You're just waiting for your other all-pro to get back off injury. The problem, just imagine if you had Jordan Lewis. If you had Jordan Lewis, you wouldn't have an issue at all. You'd be sitting there going, we got Jordan Lewis and Deron Bland. Whoever, Kyrie Elam, Siobhan Ravel, whoever's going to hold that spot down till Diggs, that will live. But because you have no slot corner, you're like, okay, we're going to move our only good outside corner right now inside. But we have no one on the other outside corner. But now we have another hole at outside corner because Bland moved inside. And it's like, you needed a slot corner. You should have went and got somebody that can play slot. And maybe Israel Mukwamu or Seat Pelt does come back and is like, no, we're good here. And it ends up being, whatever. But, man, it worries me to be like, okay, our outside corners are Elam and Ravel, and then we're going to move Bland on the inside. That scares me a lot. My thought is that Bland will be the outside corner, and he'll slide in on nickel plays. That's what I think they'll do. But again, you're telling your main corner, not only do you have to worry about the outside, hey, what is this guy doing? What's his game plan, everything, but prepare for the inside guys, whatever they move, because if they play a lot of 3 wide, you're going to be inside. And it's just giving them more stuff to do instead of just getting – he elbowed that fool right in the face. Instead of just getting a slot corner. Frustrating.
So what are your thoughts on Wanye Thomas potentially being our slot corner?
I think he'll play a lot of slot. I think he'll play a lot of slot downs. He might be the first and second down where I want them to get Hilton, where he's kind of like a run player, basically. That might be Bell or Wanye Thomas.
All right, moving along here. Mike, appreciate the breakdown there. I know you kind of sounds like you're getting something off your chest, brother.
I hate that they let Jordan Lewis go for $10 million a year. Like, can't you just be all in once? Like, all in is bringing Jordan Lewis back. Like, that wouldn't have stopped you from getting Revel because you don't know what Diggs is going to be. Yeah. You know, maybe you don't trade for Elam, okay. But, like, just pay Jordan Lewis. Like, oh, he's the highest paid slot. It's $10 million a year. Like, you could pay that. You're just sitting there on $30 million. $30 million before the Micah opens up more money. Like, you could have just brought back Jordan Lewis. Like, if he's no good in 2 years and you're paying him for the third or you have to cut him, whatever, who cares? Like, go all in for a couple of years.
They won't jump into the pool, Mike. They stick their feet in first and, let the water warm up before they go in. You know what I mean?
That's what makes Pickens such a, oh shit, all right, man, go Dallas. But if they would have done that with like Jordan Lewis on a team and went out and got a one tech, like paid money for one, now you're talking some, you got a team now. You got a contending team.
Yeah. Yes, sir. What was your favorite report out of OTA or reports? We'll share 2 or 3. Start with you, Brenden.
My first one was, it's all about George Pickens. Like CeeDee Lamb's talking about how he hasn't stopped smiling since being here. Everyone's talking about how, not everyone, Sean and I were talking about how he's in the meetings. He's like really attentive. He's writing down notes even when he doesn't have to. He's really trying to learn. He's still a little behind because, of course, he joined later with the team. But he's learning and he's just getting well involved with the team.
Mike?
Obviously, my main one is no injuries. Always. That's I'll always.
I'm not even sure why you'd say that word, Mike.
My main story will always be that coming out of OTAs and training camp and preseason. The other is that they just started Booker. I love that the coaching was like, no, he's a starter. Just put him in. We know we got it. Like, we don't have to do all the dumb bullshit.
Yeah, mine is, I'm going to say the noticeable change in energy and culture. You heard a lot of that about from Kyram Elam. I love hearing that just because, you're kind of starting to hear that maybe there was a bit of a disconnect between Mike McCarthy and his players, and definitely not hearing that about Schottenheimer. I like to hear that the culture has improved because I feel like that's something we've been working on for about 10 years now.
I heard that a big difference in it is that it was Mike McCarthy and the offense and Dan Quinn in the defense and John Fossil in the special teams. And now it's the team.
So like 3 different teams in one. Almost.
Yes. And it was, this is the offense doing their thing with McCarthy and Fossil doing special teams with Fossil and the defense, Dan Quinn with the defense. And then I'm assuming it transferred over with Zimmer, same type of thing. Zimmer's trying to teach you, but now it's about the culture of the team. Like, that was part of why they moved certain lockers next to one another, so that it was a team interaction more than just D-line with D-line, O-line with O-line, quarterback with wide receiver, that type of thing.
I know Brian Broaddus was talking about how Brian Schottenheimer went to people in the front office, like employees of the Cowboys, and was like introducing himself and giving them Whataburger, really trying to connect with everybody. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's big time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another story, I liked hearing that the linebackers have been looking impressive in OTAs. That's kind of I don't want to say a surprise, because I feel like we did a good job of addressing that, but maybe not so much with high-end players, but I love to hear that they've looked good.
I would much prefer what they did to linebacker than what they did at one technique. I like the idea of sign a guy that knows the system, trade for an athletic guy that Eberflus thinks he could teach up, trade up and draft a guy that the coach who's a linebacker wizard seems to like. That's a captain. You have Maris Leofau. You have Overshown coming back. I like that idea of we're going to bring in a bunch of guys and let them battle.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mike, what was another story you liked?
My two were no injuries and Booker starting. That was
okay.
That's my
I
two.
thought maybe you might have had 3. Brenden, how about you?
My next one was about just all the new guys are making plays, are turning coaches' heads. Even with Joe Milton, like everyone's like, hey, he has some really great deep throws, and then he'll throw 2 interceptions to linebackers, which Shamar James was one of them. Kyer Elam's making plays. I think I've heard Sanborn's already wearing the green dot for OTAs. I'm pretty sure I heard that, but if y'all tell me I'm wrong, then I believe y'all. But with all that, it's just new guys usually have to like take a little bit to get implemented on the team because it was like still like, oh, like Zach Martin's making plays. We're not talking about like the rookie tackle or anything. It's like, oh, those guys are still doing their work. It's all been talked about is about the new guys.
Yeah,
doing their thing.
And did you have a third story?
Sorry. I was just going to say, it's like, you don't play Zach Martin. He doesn't need to be in OTAs. He's older. Yeah. You don't play Tyron. You don't. Dak's going to play, and he's the one older guy. So now, like, you're starting to build as a unit right now. Way out months from training camp, you're building as a unit immediately. So I like that. I like that that's happening.
For sure. And did you have another report you like, Brenden?
It's y'all kind of talk about it is about shoddy, but like legit, he's just having everyone go out there and do their thing. But like he's not saying anyone is like we're talking about Tyler Booker starting, but like running back. Dude, it's May. You're not gonna know who's starting at running back. He's like, oh, right. Javonte Williams getting run with the ones. Okay, don't read too much into that.
Yeah,
like, it's everything's super fluid. Of course, I know. Hey, if were you an All Pro the past 2 years, then yeah, you're gonna be starting. Like that's not a question. But everything else, okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. My last one was I kind of touched on it earlier, but I love hearing that Dak Prescott was running around. I thought that was a big concern about this past injury. Would his mobility be totally shot? And the fact that it's not, that's encouraging to me. I know it's OTAs, but until
he's getting called the Slim Reaper now with all the weight he lost.
Oh, he's taking on KD's nickname. I like that.
Well, his teammates are calling him that. I'm pretty sure Jake Ferguson posted with that little thing under it.
Yeah.
Oh man, can't wait to see what happens this season with all these guys. Who was your early pick to get cut? We'll do one on offense and one on defense. Brenden.
So am I gonna do both? I'm assuming my offense at this point.
Let's do offense first.
I put Ryan Flournoy.
I almost thought about putting him, dude.
Well, so you know your top 3.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Tolbert. Turpin's making the roster because of the contract. Mingo's making the roster because guess what? They traded and he's done nothing so far. So they're gonna please God, Dak, do something with him. So there's your top 5. You're probably gonna run 6, but like, what if Trayshawn Holden makes plays? What if all these undrafted guys? What if one of them is one of Mike's guy who always makes plays in OTAs, but then will always get cut? And Jalen Cropper. I'm just saying the 6 one's up for grabs.
Look to Brooks if they keep a 6. Look to Brooks to be that because he's a special teams guy.
But yeah, so like it's completely up for grabs.
Mike, how about you? Who's your offensive guy?
Miles Sanders. I think Javonte Williams is your starter. Jaden Blue's your change of pace. Hunter Lemke's the third guy. And then if you keep another guy, you're probably going to keep the rookie because that's kind of what Dallas does. So
they're going to cut the deuce loose, huh?
My bet is that they try to get Deuce and or Miles on practice. Yeah, I gotta cut a deuce loose as soon as we get out of here. But they're probably going to get them both on practice squad.
Let's try to milk this episode for as long as possible, Brenden. So Mike has to patiently hold it. On offense for me, I went with John Stevens Jr. I know a pretty popular guy, but you think about, of course, you've got Fergie, then you've got Schoonmaker, and then you've got Spans Ford. I don't know how many tight ends they plan on keeping, but John Stevens, excuse me. I keep wanting to say Stephen Jones, but John Stevens, he's been like a off-season hero, but you never see him in action. So, he's always injured and things like that. I feel like he might be a surprise cut.
I just so you guys know, there's no smell-o-vision, so you guys don't know if I'm holding anything. I don't
know if we need to know. Oh man, are you
Mike
in your diaper era?
Dude, Mike just admitted he shit his pants. live on air. Like that's
Chewbacca,
what that man
bro,
just did.
what would Chewbacca do? I'm saying I'm not holding it. Right
those
now,
sounds are coming out of another hole.
If it gets bad, I'm gonna just go.
All right, Mike, give us your defensive guy.
I think I didn't really love this one because he always seems to make it. The coaches love his attitude. He's always one of those guys. But because of cap and stuff, I thought Donovan Wilson could be. You have Bell, who they signed to a multi-year deal. Wanye Thomas, we know, is moving in the slot some, playing places. Yeah. And they have 2 undrafted free agents that they gave money to. And both of them have the ability to play some safety. One's kind of a linebacker safety hybrid. One's a DB. But I could see them going, we got enough there. We could save a few million if we cut Donovan Wilson post June 1st. I wouldn't bet on it, but we're talking about surprise guys. That would be my dude.
That was my guy as well. How about you, Brenden?
No, mine was okay. So I know we're talking about cuts. I know we're talking about the cut. This would be a trade because if Dallas just straight up cuts him, I will be annoyed. And you probably could get something about. I put Sam Williams.
That's a good one, dude.
You got to think. You have, of course, he is a 4th round pick, but you have now 2 more 2nd round pick defensive ends there. You have Micah, which I don't even need to say you have Ezra you have Nealon, you have Dante Fowler, which is they just gave a massive contract to. Peyton Turner can go inside, so they'll like that too. Solomon Thomas will play outside and inside. So Sam Williams, he's a good player, but if his head's not on straight, like of course him being healthy and all that. Yeah. If he starts having penalty problems again, what are we doing?
What would you trade him for?
I don't know. I don't know what is coming off an injury as big as his. I have no idea. He can get you 6 to 8 sacks, and I wouldn't be shocked. If he came back healthy this year, head on straight. Sam Williams ends the year with 8 sacks. Oh yeah, I expected that. But
you wouldn't get a top 100 pick for him.
You got a 4th round pick for him?
I'd trade him for a 4th.
That'd be pretty funny that we got a 4th round pick for a player. We finally did the other way around.
Instead of trading one away, yeah.
Yeah, just to flip that around for a backup offensive guard or something.
I bet Washington, might call up Dan Quinn. I bet he'd be happy to have Sam Williams on his defense. Take a chance on him at least.
They need edge. Their edges are not great.
Yeah, I think they need some help there on that defensive line. Here we are with Mike's views from the sidelines. Number 1, Mike, how much truth is there to the Jalen Ramsey rumors?
0. That's just your Dallas. Put his name out there. They're not in on that at all. 0.
Yeah, I want to say I thought I saw Brian Broaddus responding to a tweet saying there was no truth to it, but just making sure. Have you heard any other players?
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard any other players Dallas might be interested in at this time?
Not right now. They're that team that wants to go and see who's going to break out at camp and play the young guys, give them a shot, and then see where it's like, oh boy, we're hurting. Let's go try to do something. Like the Pickens. I mean, they were smart enough to know no matter how good Tolbert comes back as, he was not going to be a top end wide receiver 2 that they needed. And so they made that move. And now they'll go in looking at running back, 1 tech, corner, and they'll see okay, do we have a playable asset here?
All right, number 3. How close or far are Dallas and Micah to a new deal, Mike, that you've heard?
So Calvin, I had heard that a deal was done. Okay. Then it came out that Clarence Hill said that they had a handshake deal done, but that Micah was basically like, we got to go through the agent. And then Dallas just never contacted the agent. And so it's basically in that stage of they're waiting for it to be finalized with an agent, but that Mike and Jerry have talked the ideas of it. What's the total numbers? What's the guarantees? What's the years? Okay, now get all the BS in. But, Dallas, they want to get the topics on TV as much as possible. So it's just kind of like Lamb and Dak. they know the numbers. They just whenever they want to get the deal done.
Gotcha. All right, and here we are with Brendan's bashing. What do you got for us this week, Brendan?
Honestly, there's nothing much has happened. I could go back to Rangers again, but I don't want to, put Mike to sleep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No baseball. I left baseball announcers out of the top 5, and there's one that deserved to be in there for a reason.
But I'm gonna go because this is the other one I thought of like last week. This is like a super simple Brendan's bashing because nothing big in sports has happened, so it's not like, oh my god, this crazy thing or whatever, or this player was complete dog shit. It's like I'm gonna go with one of my hobbies. So of course y'all see I'm a complete nerd. It's very obvious and all that, but my hobby. Thanks, Mike, as you have Disney stuff all behind you.
A nerd goes nerd.
Yeah. But so like one of my other ones is just because of course I kept it as a kid is Pokemon and all that. But scalpers have ruined everything. I collect for fun. Like I'm not trying to like, oh dude, we gotta make the deal. You gotta try to buy this. You can sell this for $50 more. I just collect Pokemon for fun. You can't buy anything unless it's like 40% over market value and all that. So it just ruins everything. Everyone posts like all these new cards that are coming out. You're not getting that shit. And then people post videos of them having 40 of these huge ass things on packs, and you go, I hate you. Like you're just an awful human being. Like you don't deserve love. It sucks.
It's like the pay to play type of games. The people with the most money get all the cards.
It just sucks because like, of course, with like I said, Rangers baseball is a long season. Basketball is the Mavericks have been done for a while. Football's not until August. Like. There's not much to do, so I would like to have something. There's no new Legos out, so I'm like, oh, let's just go do this. Okay, cool. You want to go drop $80 for like 5 packs? No, you don't. Why would you do that to yourself?
Disney does the same thing. Disney people come and buy up all the buckets or the specialty pins and everything, and then they sell them online at 3-4 times the cost. So yeah, it's everything. It's annoying.
Have you seen the videos though? Of like, there's multiple lines out of Target, Walmart, and there's people fighting. Like, dude, it's cardboard. It's legit. Like, it's cool in cardboard. Like, I like some of the stuff I have, but like, it's cardboard. I'm not gonna fight you over it. Guess what? If you want to show me what you have, I'm like, okay, cool. I have this card too, and you go, it's neat. That's as far as it goes. Like, I'm gonna go punch someone over that. No.
The reseller market has kind of made collecting for everybody in all like genres, if you will.
Yeah.
Kind of taking the joy out of it.
But the thing is, you don't know how good it is until it happens like that. We're like closer to 2020 or like I think 2021. We were going to Walmart and Target like every other week. I'm like, oh dude, let's go look see if they have anything. Oh, they have stuff. Let's go buy it. No problem. Legit nothing. And we were coming back every other week with stuff. And now they're gutted.
Yeah. All right, here we are with one word. The Cowboys' mantra for the 2025 season should be what, Mike?
Rejuvenation.
Oh.
Okay, I like that word because it mixes with energy, with the injuries, the comeback from injuries, but also the kind of new leadership with the old guard going out and this new type of culture-based coaching system. So I like rejuvenation.
That's a good one. How about you, Brendan?
See, with Mike saying that, my brain would go to like competition, but I said vibes because like that's what Schottenheimer's trying to do. It's like he's trying to be buddy. He's like, I don't know, like complete buddy because those coaches don't usually work, but like he's trying to get to know everyone. Like like y'all said earlier, he offered Whataburger to do legit people working with Jerry and Stephen Jones and all that. You're a head coach. You don't got to do that shit. You don't got to worry about them. But he's legit trying to know everybody and just know them as a person, not just a player.
Yeah, so initially I went with grind just because there was a question I forgot to ask on the show sheet. I don't know if we'll go back, but I initially went with grind. But hearing you guys talk, I'm like, I feel like maybe a brotherhood would be good, or even just hearing you talk just now, a word that came to mind would be unity.
Good, I like that.
But yeah, I kind of really want to ask this question, but we're not going to. We're going to move on to the top 5. So okay. I don't know. I kind of want to see if we can make Mike poop his pants, but I'm not that cool.
Dude, ask the question.
That happened at about 34 minutes.
Now here we are, top 5. Our top 5 sports broadcasters. Mike, give us number 5, sir.
Number 5, I'm going to go I'm going to shout out John Sterling, but he's baseball and I don't really watch anymore. But he would always make up everybody's nicknames for the home run call. He's the Yankees announcer. But I'm not doing baseball because it's just 162 games is ridiculous. And as much as they're trying to go back, it's just a terrible sport now. Like they ruined it with all the shifting and only home runs and strikeouts. It just became awful to watch. So no baseball announcers. So I'm going to go Kevin Harlan, basketball announcer, one of the best. So good. You know what? He might be the best basketball announcer right now.
Can't argue with that. How about you, Brenden?
Mike gave me this answer because, like I said before the show, I can tell you more of sports broadcasters I hate than more that I am a fan of. But no, Mike is right. Kevin Harlan does make almost every big call out there. So if you're watching a major game, do you want to listen to Reggie Miller? No, you don't. No, you don't. We're not gonna lie to ourselves here and say, "Oh, dude, I listen for Reggie Miller." No, you don't. But if you want to see a big shot, Kevin Harlan usually is on the call for it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Number 5 on my list, I went with a guy who I don't think gets really the appreciation that he deserves. At least, I know I like him quite a bit, especially on Sunday Night Football. But Mike Tirico.
I like Tirico. That's a good one. He isn't thought of as like one of the top guys. He really isn't. But he also doesn't annoy you too much, which is good.
Yeah, I think he really balances out Collinsworth a lot, dude.
Yeah, Collinsworth a lot.
Yeah, number 4. I would imagine that he might have made your list, Brenden. I'm not sure about you, Mike, but Joe Buck.
Joe Buck did not make my list, but I love him.
He did not make my list either.
Yeah,
I consider him a baseball announcer mainly. I know he does other stuff. When I think Joe Buck, I think baseball. And baseball is just awful. So,
dude, hearing him call the freaking Rangers and Cardinals World Series was tough because his Cardinals love was like undeniable, but he's had some pretty amazing calls as well. And I like him and Troy Aikman are like a legendary cast. So number 4 for you, Brenden.
I'll put Al Michaels because of course he was great in the earlier. I'm more like watching him now for the simple fact that you can tell he hates to be there on Thursday Night Football with Amazon. He hates it because I don't know what's going on. He's still phenomenal, but
he's tired, man.
But he's also like, we have no good games. It's like, are you really watching Jacksonville play the Cardinals? No, you're not.
Right.
Why would you want to pay Amazon for this? But like other than like he's just a Hall of Famer, man. Like he's phenomenal what he does, but it's just like I said, I mainly put him on here this low on the list just because he hates his life.
I don't know why he'd get those terrible games either, man. He's like still really good.
And Thursday's such bad football. Even most of the 2 good teams.
Yeah.
And he knows it. He knows that players don't recover in time. You can't get a good enough game plan set up. Like he knows he's getting inferior football. He's been around long enough to know it. And so, it just probably sucks calling that.
How much better do you think the season would be? Quick side note, would the season be without Thursday Night Football, do y'all think?
It'd be better. There'd be one less bad game a week. Typically, even close, people think like, yeah, but that game was, 20-24 right at the end and stuff. I'm like, yeah, but it sucked. It was like horrible football for 3.5 quarters just because it was close. And so it's entertaining does not mean that it's good football. Like the body is not supposed to go through what it goes through on Sunday and then play a game and play again in a few days. It's not supposed to happen.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll ever get rid of it. All right, Mike, number 4 on your list.
They won't because it makes money. Number 4 on my list. Okay, so let's see if anybody knows the name. Do you guys know who Mike Breen is?
Yeah.
Know the name, of course, yeah.
Isn't he the Bang guy?
That's what I put next to it. Bang! That's all it is. That's all I remember from any of his calls, but it is elite. When somebody hits a big 3-point shot and you hear that, you're like, yeah, that's great. So I put him on there for that one thing, his 3-point calls.
It's iconic, man.
Last second.
Yeah. All right, so number 3 on your list.
Number 3 on my list is John Madden. Pat Summerall's sidekick. So many video games off him, so many amazing. The way he was just so entertaining. He was the most entertaining commentator ever. Best second guy of all time. He was a badass. He was the first to make the stuff on the projector funny and everything, and just a legend, man. And he gave us Madden football because of how great he was.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brenden, number 3 for you, sir.
So this one, I did not like when I first started watching football. I did not like him at all because I feel like it was forced hatred. But I put Troy Aikman because legit, when I was a kid, I'm like thinking, because this is when I first started, so I was a complete novice with all of this. I'm like, dude, you're Hall of Fame quarterback for Dallas, and I felt like he was shitting on Dallas every time he talked and all that. But then you look at the scope of things and you go, you'd rather have someone do that than much rather than like you. Okay, you're a homer. This is a nationally televised game, but you're having one of the announcers talk like how great they are. Kind of like what Greg Olson does. When Dallas was murdering the Panthers, and he's like, if any team can come back from this, it would be the Panthers. Shut up! Like, no. Troy Aikman's straight to the point, and he does great breakdowns. But I really did like whenever Jimmy Johnson got announced and all that, and so they come back and came around to him, and he was just like gone, like he was weeping and all that. It was just super cool to see.
Yeah, good moment there. All right, number 2 on your list, sir.
Oh, okay, I thought we were going to go to you, but my number 2 is Chris.
I'm sorry, did I share number 3?
Yeah. You have
my
not.
bad.
You were going to go 3-2, and then I'm going to do 2, and then Mike will do 2 and 1. And, yeah.
Pardon me. I'm getting a little caught up here. Number 3 on my list. If you listen to Rangers games on the radio like I do, you know this guy. It's Eric Nadel. I mean, he really brings Rangers games to life, especially on the radio. Just I'm more of a local. You don't know who Eric Nadel is?
No.
He's part of the local
I live in
broadcast.
I don't even listen to Yankees games anymore, and I'm a Yankees fan, or Dodgers, and Dodgers
Yeah, if
have
you don't
every
like baseball, you
good
definitely
player
know
in the
who Eric
league.
Nadel is. I don't know. I mean, I really have an appreciation for listening to the games on the radio.
Baseball. 162 games.
Especially baseball. I mean, it's hard to watch on TV, but when you can watch it, when you can appreciate it on the radio, I think that says a lot. Number 2 on my list, Mr. Brad Sham. I don't know how you feel about this guy, Brenden, but he does the Cowboys radio broadcast. I think he's the color guy.
No, that's good. I didn't go more radio. I was more thinking legit people you're going to see on TV. No, but
yeah,
there's no complaints. Like I said, there's a lot of people I hate. You can't hate him. He just goes walk the dog, bro, after every big play. I'm cool with that.
Walk the dog call is one of my favorites. Who's number 2 on your list?
It's Chris Berman. Because I love his breakdown of games afterwards. I know we're talking about broadcasters, and he is one, but like him, like what Paul you talked about earlier with the every time he does the Raiders and all that, it's just he gives the best breakdowns because like you like get pumped. Him just calling out like talking to the 30 to the 20 to the 10 touchdown, like dude, it's just perfect. Did the game matter? No, because one team got murdered, but like he'll make you feel like, oh man, I probably should have watched that game honestly.
Fumbling, stumbling, rumbling.
Whoop. Whoop.
Yeah.
Whoop. Number 2 on your list, sir, Mike.
Number 2 on my list is the greatest of all time, Chick Hearns. I don't know if you guys, Brendan's young. Do you guys know who Chick Hearns is?
I feel like I've heard the name, but no, not ringing a bell.
He's the old Lakers announcer.
That's of course
he passed before Kobe and Shaq and them, I believe, started winning titles or just after. But he coined the phrase "slam dunk." He's the one.
Really?
He was the first.
What?
How about no harm, no foul?
That
was Chick Hearns. The mustard's off the hot dog.
Never heard that one.
No, have you not? Chick Hearns.
Nope.
And then he had the greatest call of all time. This is anytime it was over and the game was over, he would say, this game's in the refrigerator. The door's closed. The lights are out. The eggs are cooling. The butter's getting hard and the jello's jiggling. And only one time in his whole career when he called that did they lose a game where he called it too early and the team came back and and won it. So yeah, he should probably be number one on the list, but I have a special one for number one, a special one in my heart. So,
Mike, you talk about number one. Give it to us, man.
Harry Doyle. Do we know who Harry Doyle is? What if I told you he was voiced by actual broadcaster Bob Uecker?
Oh my God.
Major League, baby.
Oh.
Harry Doyle, the greatest of all time. Just a bit outside. Tried the corner and missed. And he's a real announcer. Bob Uecker is a actual real announcer of Baseball 1. But in this, his character in Major League is the greatest of all. And it's untouchable.
I thought you were about to go with the legendary Cubs announcer who always did Will Ferrell had the imitation. If you were a hot dog, would you eat yourself? Who was that?
Yeah, that was that wasn't Harry Doyle it was something like that though. I gotta find that out.
While you look that up, Brenden, who's number one on your list, sir?
Oh, it's easy because for what he's done completely, but I already talked about it earlier. It's John Madden. Dude, he created the turducken. Like, I feel like I don't have to say anything else other than the turducken.
I've never had turducken, but man, yeah, anybody who creates that is an icon.
But also, I know Mike talked about Madden, like the
Harry Carey.
Who?
Harry Carey. Sorry.
Oh my God! Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. But Madden is the reason why I am a football nerd. Is because you're playing with random teams, like you're playing Ultimate Team. Who you have no idea who the hell these people are, and then you're watching a game, you're like, oh shit! I know the 4-string receiver on the Browns now. I don't know why I know him, but I know him. And so I was like, I have no idea who that dude is. I'm like, oh, dude, that's this guy. He went to this college and this does all this shit. I'm like, oh, so I'm just a nerd.
All right, number one on my list. I love to listen to the Mavericks games, especially if I'm not able to watch it on the radio. But Mark Followill, man, he's absolutely totally incredible. He really brings the games to life, whether it be on the radio or on the television broadcast. But feel blessed to have him, man. He's had some iconic calls. I think he's another underrated guy for me, at least.
As a Luka fan, I'm pretty sure I've heard him because I watched a lot of Mavericks games.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Lakers and then I watched Mavericks and they had Luka. So that was my two. So I'm pretty sure I have heard him on like the Texas one.
Yeah, he's very, very good. But yeah, a lot of radio guys for me, maybe not so much TV like you guys, but I guess that just kind of shows my love for the radio broadcast here in Texas. Well, guys, as always, I enjoyed our discussion tonight. Before we get you out of here, Mike, where can we find you on Twitter?
At CD Piglet, guys. Nice and easy, man. OKC is just hitting every clutch shot. Every time Minnesota makes a run.
You can find me at Brenden_Smith 26.
Guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. We appreciate you joining us, and we will see you guys next week.